Michael Vandergrift, MCV Realty Group.
Just to help our team grow and help our clients so much better, in this,
Hello, this is Michael Vandergrift with MCV Realty, coming to you today with the seller's residential real estate sales disclosure, which anytime you accept an offer on your property, this should be signed. It's actually Indiana law that this is signed. And if this isn't signed, then the buyer can get out for no reason at all. So that's why it's really important to have this signed when you accept an offer. So before you accept an offer, this should be filled out by the seller and signed by the buyer. Down here's where you sign, and then you sign it again at closing. And it's pretty much, it says on here, it's the current actual knowledge of the home and the current condition of the home. And a lot of this stuff isn't going to be in there. And I'm going to just do a basic 101 on this. Most people don't have a built-in vacuum system. So your answer is going to be no, not included. And then so you can mark defective, not defective, or do not know. And a major problem we have with this, which I'm going to go into a video later on major issues we have with this residential sales disclosure, is people just marking them out and saying they never lived there. That is not an option. There are options where you can accept an offer without one if it's a trust, estate. There are and auctions. There are areas where the law allows exemptions to this, but for most people, this is needed to be filled out and signed by, filled out by the seller and signed by the seller and seen and signed by the buyer before accepting an offer. You got clothes, dryer, washer, dishwasher. These are all pretty basic. Water cistern. Most people don't have a cistern. It's just something that collects rainwater. Back in the day, they used to have them. Septic fields. Air purifiers. You got your electrical system, you got your HVAC system here, whether you're hooked up to public water systems or not, which is a big issue, especially in Allen County. And I'm going to do a further video later. I'm going to try to pull in an expert on septics and Allen County's new septic regulations, which have become very stringent. And just that all this information is correct to the best of your knowledge. And I usually tell my clients, if you don't know or you're not sure, put do not know. Like here, we got the age of the roof. Does it leak? Some of the weird ones, these were just added a few years ago. And one of the ones that we saw another issue on, and this isn't really a video on issues, just a general outline of the residential sales disclosure, is has there been manufacture of methamphetamine or dumping of waste? You want to make sure to answer that one correctly. But you want to read all these and make sure you're answering correctly. Not a whole lot of houses have aluminum wiring. During the war years, they had limited metal usage due to restrictions because they needed copper and other things for the war efforts. So they did do some houses during the war years of World War II in Korea. Some houses do have aluminum wiring. That does. Is there any problems with foundations? Are there any encroachments? Are there any violations of zoning? Things like this. So, but this is very important that we go through and we make sure this is filled out. And as agents ourselves, we need to make sure and go through it, what our client answered, because the IAR has come out on the hotline and told us to, if we see an error on it, we need to correct it. So that's just a broad overview of the seller's residential real estate sales disclosure and why it's of importance, because you don't want to let a buyer get out of a contract because you didn't do this. And you have to have this to close. It's state law that it has to. So a lot of times the title company does them at close, which is not the way it's supposed to be done, but it's how they do it sometimes to get it done. So this does need to be done unless you're one of those exemptions that does not have to fill this out, which in that case, I would recommend not doing it. So that is my skinny on this. Feel free to reach out to me with any questions. Be sure to share, like, subscribe. Thanks for watching.